Men, have you ever hated yourself? I mean, just been extremely disgusted with yourself. And you just feel like life has no point. You don't know why. You get up every day. You feel like you can't get anything right. Seems like the things around you are just falling apart. I've been there, and more times than I would like to admit. I want to tell you a story first before we get into kind of what I figured out when I was in those places and what I'm doing now to make sure, to the best of my ability, I don't go back to that place. Because some days I want to go back there. Some days I feel like I am there. And other days I'm staying away from it. But I want to tell you this story. I was in high school. This was 1996. So just picture a younger, flyer version of myself. I had a group of friends, man. We was like Ace Boone Combs. We was a crew. And so one day, the crew, we was all in this class. And a few of my friends were picking on this one kid. And, I'm going to pick on him too. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, man, nobody's scared of you. And so we're going to call this guy Ronnie. So Ronnie takes off his backpack. And within 3 seconds, he done did a spin. It seemed like in the air and roundhouse kicked me. And I went flying across the room. I mean, flying. And it was crazy to me because I'm laying there. I'm like, one, I didn't even know a person can fly that far from a kick. Two, I'm thinking, why isn't he being hemmed up in the corner by my boys? And three, why I'm grimacing in pain. I'm thinking, where is the teacher? And the teacher saving me from this boy. Like, who lets somebody beat on somebody like this? All these thoughts are going through my head. We became friends because ultimately I had no other choice. Just in case he planned to do that to me again, I wanted to be on his good side. I was soaking wet, maybe 100 pounds. I didn't want to murder that guy. But anyway, that's not even the end of it. We are now in 2025. For the last 3 or 4 years, Ronnie, we'll call him, he moved to China probably about 15, 20 years ago. And he actually does practice Kung Fu. And he's really good. But the crazy thing is, he sends me it's not crazy, but it's just reality. On his birthday, he sends me a Facebook message letting me know it's his birthday. And he's done this now for the last 3 or 4 years. And then actually his birthday is coming up. So I should be getting a Facebook message letting me know it's his birthday. And you know what I do when I get that message? First of all, I'm traumatized in that moment about the kick. And then I instantly reply, happy birthday. Why? Because I don't want this guy getting on a plane, coming over the pond, and deciding to karate kick me again. I just don't. And you're like, what does this story have to do with hating yourself? Let's go back to my friends. See, my friends convinced me in that moment to do something that was going to cause me trouble, not only then, but later. And our mind works the same way. See, when we start down this road of telling ourselves in our mind that we are not good enough or we always make mistakes, we can never get it right, we start this path of self-hate. And when we hate ourselves, we do things that confirm the self-hate that we already have inside. We take actions based off thoughts we have in our head, and we do not question those thoughts and think, are these going to lead me to a situation that I don't want? And then like me getting the Facebook message all these years later is a constant reminder of that situation that happened. When we do something, we have our own little triggers to constantly remind us of what we did. And when that happens, we feel stuck, we feel angry, and we feel frustrated because we now have on the top of our mind the thing that we did that makes us want to hate ourselves. And this is what happened for me. I started asking myself questions because I am 44. I spent a good portion of my life hating myself, a good portion. And it is because no matter where I was at any point in life, I kept remembering anything that I got wrong in the past, and it just led to frustration in the moment. Or I would have these situations where I am doing what I can to the best of my ability. And if someone told me it didn't measure up to their standards or the way they would have done it, I felt a sense of inadequacy. And when I felt inadequate, I hated myself because I wanted to do everything correctly according to what the person wanted or how they would have done it. It was my desire. And what I realized from situations like that is we are all on this journey and we are all flawed in our own way. So just because I didn't do something exactly how someone else would have done it, it doesn't mean I need to hate myself. It doesn't mean I need to feel like I am less than, because there is some area that I am really strong at that this person is probably not. But I couldn't see that. And I think a lot of men, we find ourselves in a situation where we feel like, yes, I should have more money, I should have more of this, I should have more of that. And maybe this person or that person will appreciate me. Maybe my boss will notice me if I do this or I do that. But we can't control any of those things. You can do everything perfect and your boss may still overlook you. You may have tried your best with the finances or whatever you had at that moment and it didn't work out the way you planned. But what I am learning is what happened in that moment. And it doesn't have to be the future unless I bring it there. It doesn't even have to be in the present unless I carry it there. It can just be something that is left in the past. At one point in my life, I was raising all four of my kids and I never knew my dad. And so I'd always told myself that I was going to be the type of father that was always in his kids' lives. Well, one of them decided to move away with their mom. And then 4 or 5 years later, another one decided. And I had just wrote some children's books about, being a single parent. And after the first one was my oldest son, the second one was my oldest daughter. After they both had left to go live with their mom, I completely stopped trying to sell my books because I felt like, even though I did raise my children for many years as a single father by myself, so the books were still valid, but I felt like with my daughter leaving, it invalidated me. Once again, I stopped doing a thing and then hated myself for not doing it any longer. What I'm asking you now is to think about what cycles are you going through? What situations keep turning up over and over again for you? I think about the story of the drunkard in the book. The little prince asked the drunkard, "Why do you drink?" He said, "I drink because I'm sad." And then he goes, "Well, why are you sad?" And he says, "I'm sad because I drink." It's just a circle. He kept drinking because he was sad, and he was sad because he kept drinking. And for me, I had to ask myself that question. Why do I keep putting myself in loops? What are your loops? I know my loops are anything around parenting. Man, it put me in a loop because I wanted to be the guy that was always around and had his kids, period, because I didn't want to be like my dad. And so any setback I had in that area just sent me into a I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. Things started to change for me when I realized something. And it's not super profound, but it helped me. It was the analogy of a backpack. If I picture myself wearing a backpack, in my backpack, each little piece is something from my past that I'm just throwing in there. Every time I did something wrong, I'm throwing it in the bag every single time. Eventually, that bag is going to get so heavy that I am stuck in place. So the pain of the backpack is keeping me stuck. It's making it to where I can't move any further, where I can't go any further. But when I decided to put down the backpack and realize, hey, I don't have to take this backpack with me. I can sit this backpack down. I don't actually need this backpack. And the things that are in the backpack, yeah, I actually can't do anything about those things because they're in the past. And I am right now in the present. And in the present, this is what I control. This is where I'm the man. The moments right now where I've made a decision to record this video and talk about a topic that I've been scared to talk about because I've always gotten on here, oh, happy this, you can do it, you'll win, and all this stuff. But even during those moments, some of the moments, I was dying inside. But this moment right now, where I gave myself permission to record, this is the present. It's the only moment in your life you have control over, is right now. So asking yourself, why don't you put down the backpack? What do you get from carrying the backpack? I know for me, I just felt like if I hated myself, I don't have to focus on doing something now. What would be the point? I'm flawed. I'm not enough anyway. Why should I give effort? Why should I do my best? Look at my stack of flaws. Look at all the mistakes I've ever made. I just want you to think about that, because us men, we die way too early because we're carrying stuff we should have let go a long time ago. And I'm tired of seeing it. I want to see us do better. You cannot change the past. You cannot predict the future, but you can own the present. And in the present, you're whole. And the present is where you get to decide what you do in this moment, what I do in this moment, is how we get to decide what tomorrow will look like. It won't happen until we lay down that backpack and say, hey, yeah, I wasn't a perfect man, but today I'm going to do the best I can. All I have is right now. And then tomorrow, I'm going to do the same. And then we'll see what happens. But that is a mindset that I have adopted. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it's better than the alternative. The alternative is just continuing to hate myself, do nothing, and then perpetuate that hate, which makes me hate myself because I'm doing less than I'm capable of doing, and I know I'm doing less than I'm capable of. The circles, they're all loops. So identify what your loops are. Decide to sit them down. You need help? Ask for it. Go get it. Sometimes the best help for us men to start with is sitting with ourselves, being honest. I know that's what helped me, sitting with myself, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to solve your problem for you. You have to solve your problem for you. They can support you on your journey, but you have to go on the journey. I had to go on the journey. I still continuously every day have to go on the journey. I care about you, and I need you to care about you enough to stop hating yourself. The hate is destroying you. I know it. Every time I allow myself to start hating myself, I feel it in my body. It's time to let your light shine. Forgive yourself and let it go. Put down the backpack. You got this. Hey, if you watch this video and this spoke to you and you need someone to talk to, I do have some 15-minute calls that you can book in the description. You can go to the link, book a call. I would love to chat with you for a quick second. Notice I said 15 minutes. All right. And until next time.